I'm going to start with Amy and Marty. So come on up.
Right.
So welcome. So first of all, tell us about your family here. You brought a few with you.
Sure. Howdy. My name is Amy Uzer. This is Marty. We have 5 kids between the two of us. Kaylee and Cooper are my 2, and then Wyland, Dryden, and Reagan are his 3. So we always say it's kind of like the Brady Bunch, but we didn't get Alice. And we are have a wonderful blended family and made them come tonight. So hopefully they will behave as they watch Marty and I talk about our real estate endeavors.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about what you did before you found Lifestyles. If you're still doing it, tell us about your life.
Sure. Hello, Marty. Started off in Lifestyles about 1.5 years ago. Listened to Dell on the radio for a long time. And Dell tells a joke on the radio. I think it goes something like this. A guy came up to Dell and he goes, "Hey, I've been listening to you on the radio for about 7-8 years." And Dell goes, "And you're not rich yet?" And I found that pretty funny because that was me. So
I had no idea. So he just said, "Hey, do you want to go to San Antonio this weekend and have a date night, have a date weekend?" Like, heck yes. Like, no kids? Absolutely. So we go to San Antonio. I had no idea. Okay, well, we're going to listen to this guy talk about real estate. But he didn't tell me he'd been listening to the program for years. So I went cold, knew nothing about what we were doing, thought he was there cold, but no, he wasn't. He was there watching me watch the 2-day and get my impression of what I thought about everything. So
You're telling me he took you to San Antonio for a date weekend and you sat in a seminar for 2 days straight.
I should also say I'm a CPA, so I was a little intrigued with
That's a hot date, though. I mean, so I read The Richest Man in Babylon to my fiance, or a girl I was dating, right? Fireside on a campout trip. I mean, I wanted to make sure she was on board with stuff.
Well, if it tells you anything, on our first date, we actually talked about Dave Ramsey.
Oh, yeah?
And we actually, I may have gotten out my app that I keep track of my budget and said, "Hey, I keep track of my budget." He's like, "I do too." And I thought, okay, this is going to work.
Okay. Wow. You told me you were in sales. I was in sales for years. And
Yes, I was.
And you were the greatest salesman in the world if you could pull this off. So, I'm here to mentor you in real estate. I'm going to come to you for dating advice. And I don't have a good track record in that part of it. So
It's the
I gotta see
2-day,
how you pull
Sorrel.
that
Got to
off.
get them to the 2-day.
What was I thinking? Okay.
So we started 1.5 years ago. COVID hit, right, and got laid off from you maybe heard of a place called the Post Oak Hotel. I worked there for a while before that, hotel and restaurants for many, many years. But you don't need a hotel and meeting space when there's no meetings, so that got laid off.
And I also got laid off. I'm a CPA, but at the time was at a smaller firm, and we were trying to grow the practice. And what do? They cut the people that aren't billable at the time. So we were both laid off with 5 kids. Had a lot of happy hours on the back porch, drinking our Costco wine and telling the kids not to bother us. But other than that, we were really struggling for how long is COVID going to last? What's going to happen next? We were just trusting the Lord that we were okay. Luckily, Marty had saved since he was 16, and we had plenty of savings between the two of us to make it through. But yes, it caused us to rethink about our entire careers for both of us and what could happen next.
Okay.
So anybody ever been laid off in the room? Yeah, it changes your life, doesn't it? Makes you focus on what's important. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, and I see on this last line here, after he tricked you into going to the 2-day, then you pushed him to join.
I did. And I came back, I think it was the end of day 1, that Marty was sitting there thinking, you have to understand, Marty is the most frugal person in the world. If it doesn't come from Costco, we don't buy it. So it was very interesting to me that he wanted, it's true, it's actually true, what he's wearing all came from Costco. But what we really, it was just to see him with a checkbook open saying, "Do you think this is okay? Should we not?" And I was like, of course we should. Like, I've heard all of the things I heard only on day 1. I was ready to hear day 2 as well, but I said, let's go ahead and do it. Do it now.
Nice.
It's funny we both ended up here because I've never walked into a Costco.
You should go. It's fun.
Okay. So we're going to talk about one of your properties. We'll get to your other properties in a little bit, but this is a property you bought on Silverside Drive in what city is this in? This is in the Houston area for you that are nationally, but and I'll get to how we help national members here in a second. But what locality is this in the Houston area?
This is out in Katy.
Katy, Texas. Okay, a little suburb of
But,
West Houston. Okay, and so what Lifestyles teaches is best product, best price. So we're going in, we're looking for a property that's beat up in most ways, because that's where we're going to get the best opportunity to buy a property at a discounted price. And then we're going to fix that property up. So I'm going to show you a few before and after slides here. So you can see that this property wasn't in really bad condition compared to some.
These
properties
pictures
you'll
don't
walk
do
in.
it justice.
They don't do it justice.
No.
So it was really worse than this.
Yes.
Sometimes the pictures are horrifying, the before pictures, but we
We
always
should have
fix
taken
it
a picture of all the junk that they had
Yes.
left and all this
Yeah.
stuff, but this is after
Yeah.
it was cleared out.
We
It
love
was-
junk. We love cat smells. That's the smell of money. So we're always looking for the properties like that. We're not looking to walk in and find a perfect house. We want to make it a perfect house. So this is obviously the living area and a big change there. Big change in the kitchen. So this is what we do. This is where your money is made. And so tell us a little bit about the numbers on the property.
It's been a while, but yes, at first we found this house, we went to a Lifestyles roadshow, single-family roadshow.
Okay.
And road trip, and we went up north and saw a house, and then we went out to lunch afterwards, and 5 or 6 houses were presented, and you'll learn about all of this when you come to the 2-day, right?
Yeah, teach about all this stuff.
And put my name in the hat, and I got first tag. Well, they'll teach you about the tags too, on this house out in Katy. And so it was great. And the next day we went to see the house with Jennifer McCormick. I think I saw her there somewhere. There she is. Hello.
Jennifer.
And
So a little bit about the road trip for those that are new, and so we actually go out to our Lifestyles Realty team, which are fantastic. I'll tell you a little bit about them, but they find properties that are, and we do 2 things. One is educational, so there's a property already owned by a member. We go out and we hear the member talk, why they bought the property, what their numbers are, what their expectations are, what the current situation is, and then we'll go to a property that's for sale. And this is, and these are also broadcast online. So those of you that are national, you can see these road trips online. And then we do have a process, because we don't compete with each other. So we have a process of literally writing names down and drawing them out of a hat. So you found this property on a road trip that was presented by Jennifer.
exactly.
And I will also teach you how to find properties this weekend too. But yeah, on your own if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different avenues to find a house with Lifestyles, and like you said, they'll teach you all. But this was a great deal. I mean, we went out there, we saw the house, only $21,000 out of pocket, and if we were to sell the house today, we would get all our money back plus another, $23,000 there. So that's comforting to know. And every month for the last 11 months, we've had this house, and it's paid like clockwork. And very nice tenants, about $360 some odd dollars in cash flow there. It's been great. It certainly helps out with the bills, and with the first house and the second one, we did a third one, and we just start seeing the progression. And with the few passive deals we had, we just see the light at the end of the tunnel now. It's just, there's a lot more you can do.
So this weekend, I'll teach you all the 5 ways we make money in real estate. One of those is cash flow, right? $368 a month. Copy? That's the money we put in our pocket after the tenant pays the note, right? Which also helps us pay the taxes and insurance, right? Because we escrow for that in single family. The other is equity capture, right? Mm-hmm. They found a deal that they could buy and fix up very quickly, using our vendors probably.
We did.
And immediately had $22,000 in equity. Now, their out of pocket was $21,000. So they fixed up in 30 days, 60 days.
Yeah, 45, 50 days. It was quick. It was a quick turn.
2 months later, y'all see how they just got like an immediate 100% return on their money? Right? That's only 2 of the ways we make money in real estate.
And for those that invest in the stock market,
Yeah.
walk into your broker and say, here's $21,377. I want to invest this. And in 50 days later, I want to have an additional $22,000. Plus, I want you to give me $368 a month. Does not happen in the market. That's the advantage of real estate investing.
And
Give us a second on the questions.
the cash flow is tax-free when done correctly. It's offset by the depreciation on the property, which I'll teach you about this weekend too.
I would say tax deferred since I'm a CPA standing up here because I was asking those questions.
good point.
I was asking those hard questions in the 2-day and ask those questions. I was going to say, there's nothing wrong with it. They will answer you. I tried David every which way, up and down, to ask him the questions. I gave him a heart attack because I'm also an Aggie. So he loved, just wringing my neck about being an Aggie as well. 3rd generation, thank you very much. But he answered the question. I thought the man was dressing the way he dresses on purpose to try to trick us. Like, I thought I was just in there to prove that it was an MLM. Like, y'all are trying to get our money for some reason, and I got to figure it out why. But they're not. And we're not. And now we're a part of the process, and we're a part of the brainwashing, just like we do at A&M. And it is a family that happens at both A&M and here, and it's it's wonderful.
Aggies are brainwashed?
A little bit?
But we like to say defer, 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 and die.
Yes.
Yes, I'll
so-
teach the 1031.
Yes.
It's a section of the Irish tax code that allows us to defer our capital gains until we die.
Yes.
Actually, I own an LLC, a Texas LLC. Its name is DDDD LLC. It has 2 members, me and my wife, and that's the LLC that we buy property in for our family, a IRO deal. I'll talk about that this weekend too. Guess who's going to inherit that LLC? Amy, my CPA. Who's
Your
going to
child.
Correct. And at that time, when they inherit it, all the capital gains that I've never paid on those properties go away.
Yep.
They inherit the property and the LLC at a stepped-up cost basis.
Yep.
Right? Copy?
Yes.
Copy.
Okay.
The 4 Ds, the secret of
Like her.
Love it.
taxes and real estate. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. All right, so tell us about your other properties.
Well, the first one there is our personal residence.
Previous personal residence.
Previous personal residence. That house was too small. I disagreed with that, but that's another story. We could have stayed there and saved a little cash flow, but we turned it into another rental. As you can see, we have way too much equity in that. It needs to be sold.
Okay,
And they'll-
wait, back up a second.
Yeah.
So the 7 of you were in a house and you thought that wasn't enough?
We
You
were
had-
in
you had
a
enough room?
3-bedroom.
No, it was 4-bedroom.
Okay, sorry, 4-bedroom.
Converted the garage.
Dining with a kitchen that could only fit 2 people. And COVID happened during this time. Remember COVID? We had 5 kids with 5 different teachers on 5 different computers teaching them school.
So
yeah,
wait.
it was too
y'all,
small.
Y'all invested in real estate through COVID and you made money?
We did.
What?
We did.
Y'all, the past couple years have been the most profitable years of my life. Copy? In a
Yep.
market that some people wanted to call down. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so tell us again about the property.
Yeah, the first house, that personal residence, we did everything Dale Walmsley and Lifestyles tells you not to do, David Fisher. We over renovated it. It has too much equity in it. It needs to be sold. So that will be doing that. Jennifer will be calling you. So
Excellent.
And guess who did not want to sell?
but we've had a very nice appreciation
you
on
two,
that house. Yeah. Second one, Katie, and then Rice Avenue is the third deal we just recently closed on. Had some things pop up there a little bit. We think it's a beautiful asset. We wish the numbers just a little bit better, but at the same time, we know that asset's in a very good market. It's going to appreciate, but it's producing. And the last 3 months, the client's been paying us, tenant's been paying, the resident, excuse me, residents, and we're excited about it. But I'm
And we're very proud of that property too, I
very
would
proud
say.
of the house. That house was a little rough. We did a lot of fixing up there.
And it's also in my hometown, so it's very nice that for me to be giving back to the community I grew up in.
Nice. And that's one of the things you'll notice when you join Lifestyles and we do investing and become landlords basically different than apartment owners, single family homeowners, different than regular people do it. And we improve the neighborhood. And people will sometimes as you're doing the renovations, people will come up to you and thank you because this has been a blight on their block for many years and now they can see the transformation. Quite frequently, I have 8 current houses. I've had 13 total. 9, I've had 13. But people have actually come up when I'm putting a sign in the yard because their friends and friends and family want to rent in their same neighborhood. So it's pretty easy to get residents. How did you get your people into these 3 properties?
Well, the first one, the sign out front of the yard. I mean, probably got the first 2 days, 20 calls.
It only said for rent, and it had Marty's handwriting scribble with his phone number. That was
That's
all
all
we
you
did.
need.
That's it?
It worked.
And you have to answer the phone. That's the hardest
Yes,
part, y'all.
yes.
Serious.
But I
Answer
mean,
the
you would
phone
be
from an
surprised.
unknown caller.
As soon as we staked it, phones just started ringing. It was
Same thing on the
amazing.
second one, Silvers. I put a sign in Facebook Marketplace, and I got equal amounts, and I think I booked the resident on Silverside with the sign, and then Rice was Facebook Marketplace.
And this
all
week-
free options, by the way.
This weekend, I'll spend 30 minutes at least on marketing a property, which is, yes, it's a handwritten sign, but there's several other things you do to
There's
increase
better
it.
ways to do it than we did it. It just
But,
happened to work the way we
No,
did it.
it works. The sign in the yard is the thing that works.
So when did you join again? Lifestyles?
This coming July will be 2 years.
In 2 years, you've added almost $200,000 to your net worth and $12,000 in annual income. So
Plus our passive deals.
plus your passive, and you're in how many passives?
Yes.
3 passives, and going to be in another one next week.
So give them a hand for that.
Yes. Awesome.
Okay, so we asked you for a quote, so this is, you may have to read it, but this is what you sent us.
What did we send them?
I'll read it. 3 houses and 3 passive investments producing income has taken the burden off the family finances. That's so true. You know, we've got 5 little ones over there. Well, they're not very little. They're 16, 11. I have twins, and 16, and my daughter is 16, and my son is 12 too. Excuse me, 11. And they eat a
We
lot.
forget.
They eat quite a bit. We're taking them on a cruise. Cruises cost money, and ice cream at the ice cream store costs money, and all that extra income helps do all that. So I'm very thankful for our lifestyles and helping take some of the burden off of that. Even though we still work full time, the idea is to get rid of the full time gigs eventually and get doing what Brian's doing. Copy?
Copy. So it's phenomenal, right? I'm going to go out to Hawaii. Lifestyles is doing a 2-day out there in June, so I was going to go out there. It's a party, right? Why not? An excuse to go to Hawaii. And I went one time with the Navy before, and my wife Meredith. I've been to Hawaii a few times with the Navy, but Meredith flew the kids out, for a week, and our daughter just couldn't sleep on the plane. It's a terrible flight, right? Nonstop, 10, 12 hours. It's just, and she was young and crying, and just tried to give her some Dramamine, right? And it didn't work, right? So me and my wife are looking at plane tickets, right? And it's just crazy how much it doesn't matter now. My wife's like, let's do business class. Let's get the lie flat for 12 hours. Okay, babe. Copy? For 4 tickets, right? It's amazing how it's the ability where it doesn't matter. Once you figure out how to get passive income, not trade your time for money, you have the map. That's what we share at Lifestyles, y'all.
We're certainly not there yet, but I can
Yeah.
see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
There's
You know.
some very, very.
I just do this a few more times.
Yeah, Marty first, and then Amy cannot worry about 315. Anybody else worried about 315 right now? I am. I file a lot of people's taxes at 315.
As a lead investor, I worry about 315, but it's my job.
Okay, so tell us what's next for you, short term and long term.
Short-term growth, become an expiring lead. That's kind of the monopoly progression, right? That's where I'm going next.
And aspiring lead, for those of you new, it's your first time being a lead investor in a multifamily property.
Yes.
So at Lifestyles, we partner to buy multifamily communities. When me and my wife bought our first one as lead investors, we were on the radio show with Dell. And she said, I thought only millionaires bought apartments, right? And Dell said, that's funny, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Do apartments make millionaires or and so we partner up. So we'll talk about that when we get to the multifamily presentation here in a second. We have an award winner who's going to present for us tonight. Sorry, go ahead.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then long term?
Long-term goals, I'd like to move out to the country, chase cowtails.
Yes.
But still have plenty of time to get on cruise ships and make your goal of 100 countries. That would be a nice bucket list for sure.
Only at 98.
Oh, nice.
That's a good goal.
So Lifestyles allow me to buy a 100-acre family ranch free and clear.
Nice.
And now I'm in the Longhorn business, right?
Well,
today-
and we're due to inherit on both sides, and
Yeah.
so it would be great to be able to continue that tradition. I'm a 7th-generation Texan, and I would love, love, love to just be able to I don't know, start up a little country store that we actually had, and a historical marker down in Bay City, Texas, where my 7th great grandfather actually had a little store. Wouldn't it
Wow.
be fun to dabble and just sell jam, quilts, just
Money?
not make money, just do it for fun. It would be, so those are some of our dreams as well, to just be able to relax and be able to provide for our children and hopefully our grandchildren. Maybe we'll we have a good opportunity of at least having one.
Yes.
But that would be fantastic to be able to be free to spend time with
The biggest
family.
goal, though, is to instill in
A legacy.
the second row over there that there is another way to do things, to make a living, and not trade your time for money. And that is the most important thing Lifestyles has taught me, which I'm trying to impart upon them now.
Awesome.
Okay, so you don't do this by yourself, so talk about who's on your team.
Well, Sorrel, you've been helped in the last bit, and Hind.
Notice my name's not on there.
Well, you wasn't, but you've helped me quite a bit in the last
Actually, who the
couple
mentors,
months.
and you sent me Hind, so
Well, for this deal she was, but you've been on other deals. But
I'm just kidding.
But Hind sometimes, I remember I sat down with her at Starbucks, and I think there's a saying, you either S or get off the pot. And she kind of told me that because I had been wondering, and she called a email blast that come out. She goes, look, this is how you do it. Ask for the packet. She showed me the packet and said, now you're going to go see this property, and I want you to make an offer on it, or just at least try to tag it and get the process started. And she did that, and it worked. It got me into doing things. And then I called her a little bit more, and then I'm on a single family roadshow, and you just got to put one foot in front of the other, and next thing you know, you're going to go. So I'll let Amy talk about Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer, as we said, is here. She is phenomenal. She walked us through every single step that we needed to do. She even said, hey, here's what colors I use. Here's what I usually do. And I just said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm a CPA. I'm fantastic at Excel. When it comes to colors and creativity, not my strong suit. Not Marty's either. And
I don't
so
do
it was
colors.
fantastic that our
Jennifer,
Jennifer
stand up
McCormick,
there.
she's
Stand
here
up
right
for us,
here.
Jennifer.
Our realtor. She's a realtor.
So-
Yeah, so she's up here for the realtor. But so when she showed us the property as well, she automatically started giving us ideas. Like, here's what I would do, here's what, and we were just like, yes, like, fantastic.
And for those online, you couldn't see Jennifer when she stood up and waved, did the little prom dance. But she can help national members also who want to buy in Houston. And she will give you the same service. She will help you find properties, give you ideas for them. Sorrel or Hind will work with you. And even I know a lot of national members who buy in Houston, DFW, and San Antonio, just because it may make sense to own property somewhere where the landlord-tenant laws are friendly to landlords.
Matter of fact, I just had the conversation with Jeff, our realty manager, who's in the back there. And last year, 30% of properties bought in Houston were bought from members outside of
Oh,
Houston
wow.
and many outside of Texas.
Awesome.
Because the market here is still good. This is a landlord-friendly state, so people all over the place. Jennifer, approximately how many people do you work with from out of state? What, like 2%, 5%? Yeah, 2, 5, 10. Yeah.
30%
exactly.
of your clients are probably out of state.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
awesome.
Amy kind of undersold when she says Jennifer is, what's the term you use? Awesome, amazing, awesome?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
One of
Jennifer is absolutely amazing. There's over 45,000 realtors in the greater Houston area. And I asked Jeff every time. He told me an hour to go, and I've already forgotten it. But Jennifer is in number, Jeff?
Yes.
Been in the top 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if y'all didn't hear that online, she's been in the top 10
Out
for
of
the past 6 or 7
45,000.
years.
And we have 3 others that's been in that top 10, top 25 actually over the last few years too. So
And she is incredibly patient with newbies. And so it was just very, very good for Marty. Marty would ask her the hard questions, and then Jennifer and I talk on the side and come up with a plan of how to get Marty to make a move and do things we wanted to do. So she's just really good and knows how to play the game.
Hey, I'm not stand up for Marty. Thank you for getting your wife to come to a 2-day.
it's kind of interesting. The salesperson is the more conservative, and the CPA is the more aggressive.
You
That's how
know,
it works.
That's kind of different.
it is different. I'm probably the spender. I like to spend money.
Okay.
You know.
All right, I'm sorry. So tell us
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
vendors,
rest on your
vendors.
team.
I'll tell-
But we use Red Door Funding, Capital Concepts, Sean Rick Capital is very helpful, Longhorn Solutions, and also J&W Construction with Antonio. He's been my latest contractor. He's been very, very good. And Larry, if you got tree help, he's the guy. He'll take good care of you.
Yeah, and we have vendor teams in most of the markets where we have realtors and offices and mentors, but we also have national single-family mentors. Same on the multifamily side, but if you're living somewhere else and you're buying somewhere there, so you're buying your home city, your home state, you're not buying in Houston or one of the major markets we're in, our national mentors will help you build a team, because the most important part of what you do when you get started is to have a team. And so the vendors, you need these vendors on your team to get started. You don't want to just out there on your own struggling. So.
And I met them all through the Single Family Roadshow, where I came to case study,
trip.
and I met them. That's where I met them. Yeah, road trips. Thank you.
Roadshow is the antiques thing on
Oh,
TV.
that's right. Yes.
Wrong channel on the TV.
Okay. Okay, any questions? We got time for a few questions.
Do you have any questions online, David, or in the room?
I
No,
do
wait,
have
one
one
hand-
question online.
okay.
How did you determine your personal residence would make a good rental?
Good question.
Again, there's a lot of equity. That house should have been sold. It needs to be sold, and it will be sold this spring when the lease is up. But and I just kind of saw the area, and the market was definitely increasing. I mean, we've made good $150,000 off of that house in what, 2 years? I mean, 2.5 years. It's been nuts. I mean,
We weren't ready to sell yet. We knew it would appreciate. It's corner lot, very good area.
beautiful mature trees.
Yes, beautiful yard, and we just knew, let's hold it a little longer. It was just something that we had decided would be best for our family, and we knew we could do it coming together, since we had just gotten married a year or two before. Coming together and bringing two incomes and two household incomes together, we knew this is probably going to be okay. We can make it work. And so
One
that's
thing too, that was a question nationally, but if you have a question like that, you're looking at your personal residence, making it a rental, you're looking at a rental, is it good to keep it a rental, or it's time to sell it or refi? Talk to your mentors. We'll absolutely help you look at that individual property and decide and give you options of what your next step should be.
But Brian's going to cover opportunity costs, cash on cash returns,
Yeah.
which is not as high in this property, which why it has to be sold. And
I seen 160 or something equity. I'm like, why is that not sold?
exactly, it's time to sell for sure.
Okay, you had a question earlier.
Yeah, so on your first slide, you had $21,377 for out of pocket. So when you financiers will finance you 70 to 80%.
Right?
Correct.
Make your numbers work. If I just financed the $115,500 purchase price, it comes out to $23,000.
Beauty
so-
of what we do.
You got it? You want to?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll teach you this weekend. Yes, if they just bought it straight outright, 25% down, that's the calculation you're doing.
I'm doing 20%.
Okay.
That's more than
So they probably used a private money mortgage or a hard money loan for your
hard money.
Yes, we
So
did.
they will lend you 75 to 80% of the purchase price
80% on this one.
and some of the rehab also.
80% of
Yes.
the
So-
appraised value.
I don't want to belabor the point, but that number doesn't work.
No, it does. So
I will take it offline and I'll show you.
I'll go through it, brother.
Absolutely.
I've taught it for 5 years now.
Of the appraised value, you said
Yeah.
purchase.
Okay,
Yeah, we can.
75% of the appraised value, I'm sorry, and with the rehab included. Okay? And then you buy it, you do the rehab you said you're going to do, you follow your scope of work, right? And then it gets the after repaired value, which you then roll into a standard conventional loan. It's a two-close process. I go through it in detail with a real-world example this weekend. I'm going to find a house on the MLS this weekend. We're going to evaluate the rehab on it. I'm going to take you through the financing, right? Either straight conventional or using the private money mortgage two-step process, right? There's two closes, two closing costs, but you get a higher leverage in the deal. And as I said at the very beginning here, leverage is a secret of real estate, right? There's no other asset you can go and get 75 or 80% leverage on. I mean, I think Bitcoin's really undervalued right now. Would y'all agree?
Yes.
Can I go to a bank and say, hey,
No, actually.
I need $1 million loan to go buy some Bitcoin because I know it's going to the moon, right? They're going to say no because it's too risky for them, correct? They don't give that kind of leverage on gold or silver, correct? but they do on real estate. That's how we're able to make these high returns. That's how we're able to do it tax-free when done correctly.
Yes.
Okay? But yeah, I'll go through it in detail this weekend for a couple hours. It takes us 3 hours to do the single-family example.
I'm going to the single family road show, or what you call it. So,
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, you'll learn.
There's not a single-family road trip this weekend. That's next Saturday.
Yeah.
No. We don't do a single-family road trip the same day as a 2-day. It's the following Saturday.
That's correct.
Yeah, so there is no single-family road trip.
Because people come to the 2-day
And then
and learn the process, and then they go on a road trip the next weekend.
Okay. Bill,
Thanks.
you had a question?
yeah, how did you know what your rehab?
Hold on a second. The microphone's coming to you.
Talk into the mic.
How did you know what your rehab cost was going to be, and when did you know that? Did you know that before you put the property under contract, or did you learn that during due diligence?
We learned that almost the day of, because on that Sunday, Jennifer already took the liberty of bringing out a contractor. He was there, he gave us a quote, and within the next 24 hours, we had a quote of the complete rehab, and I had the power to say yes, yes, no, yes, 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 and I think I did almost everything on that scope, so I knew exactly to the penny what my costs were going to be. Lifestyles has a worksheet and also another program called Quest. They'll talk about it, and you know exactly what your costs are going to be from, taxes, looking up on the HCAT, and in this case, get the tax bill. You can make some calls to insurance, find out what your insurance quote's going to be. I knew within $500 to $1,000 what my costs are going to be in this house before I pulled the trigger.
So Lifestyles has the map, the system, the people, the vendors in place. Like, why'd you paint the walls agreeable gray or whatever?
Well, Jennifer, why did you paint the walls that color? I don't know.
It's pretty and it works. It's what people want.
Because
care.
someone told them to, right?
Someone told us to, and it
Most of
looked
the time
good.
it's like, the contractor said he does it that color, and it's the one everybody loves, so he does it that color. Okay.
Looks
Okay.
nice.
Rinse and
We
repeat.
got time for one more question over here.
So basically, you're paying $300 for this 2-day program, and you get all these benefits. Is that what you're saying, or is there more
Yes.
to it?
So I paid $500 for the 2-day program 10 years ago, right? So I can't believe you are getting it for that price. There are other levels of membership. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know this weekend to do it on your own. You'll be able to walk out of the 2-day, locate, rehab, operate single family and small multifamily, right? I believe y'all were challenge members and had the help with Lifestyles Realty. And that's
We
our
actually
single.
we jumped into
I know that.
all way, but yes, challenge would be a great first start.
Yep. And then if you want to invest in multifamily, like your buddy that invited you here, that's the preferred membership.
Yep.
But I'll talk about all that this weekend.
Yep.
Okay, one last question over here. Oh, that was the question. Okay,
Excellent.
thank you. Let's give them a hand again.
So, thank you very much, Amy and Marty. One second.
Oh,
Amy.
one second.
1 second.
So just one thing, right? When you're successful, right? Amy and Marty are just members. They're not employees of Lifestyles.
No.
So they got a little uncomfortable coming up here. They had to do a slideshow for us.
They're
right,
not
and present
uncomfortable.
it.
They're
I know.
pros.
They probably love PowerPoint and Excel. But
We love PowerPoint.
I just want to say thank you for giving back,
You're welcome.
right? This kind of money changed your life, and it inspired me to change mine back in the day. I seen the first single family, I was like, yeah, I'm doing this, right? So thank you very much for giving.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks.